Hello, and welcome. Silrace here with the Black Desert Online. I wanna talk about a few topics over a couple of videos. This one is about PvP, the PvP issue. Put air quotations on that issue because it can be an issue and it might become an issue in the long term of this game. If it stays in the way it is, I suppose. Anyway. Couple things before I really get to talking about that topic. Firstly, I'm not going to talk about Gillisoid in this video. I'm going to talk about the craziness that is the Gillisoid in a separate video of its own. Depending a little on my schedule, it might already be on my channel by the time this video goes up, actually. But if it's not, it's coming after this one. So anyway. Another thing to mention is that please don't call Black Desert Online a PvP game, because it's frankly not. It just isn't. The vast majority of the things you do in this game are PvE, not PvP. You do PvE to get to PvP to get more PvE, and then you do a little bit of PvP here and there, essentially. If you want an actual PvP game, you go play currently something like Star Wars The Old Republic or World of Warcraft. In those two games you can actually gear up and level up in PvP. You can't do that in Black Desert Online at all. You must do PvE to gear up, to level up, and so forth. So yeah, that out of the way, let's get to the main point. Let's talk about the PvP and its issues. PvP is the one activity in this kind of games which you can force on other players, but other activities cannot be forced on other players. This is where the big issue with PvP always comes, right? Okay, so let me clarify that just so that you're clear if you didn't understand my point there. So, you can decide to kill another player who is, for example, mining ore nodes, but that player who is mining ore nodes cannot force you to mine ore nodes. Clear enough, right? And nobody can force you to do trade runs or to tame horses if that's not what you yourself want to actually do. But you can force combat on other players who are eligible for it, as in high enough level. So you can force PvP on others, but no other activity can be forced on other players. All the other activity is chosen to participate in. PvP can be done to be non-chosen to participate in it. You can kill somebody. How many of you actually PvP in such a fashion that when you find somebody you want to kill, whether this person is at your favorite grind spot and you wanna bully them out, or whether they come, you know, where you are already grinding and you wanna bully them out because they start taking your monsters, whatever. How many of you actually tell the player that you are going to kill him after he finishes the monsters he's grinding? And then you allow him to finish the monsters and then you attack him. Right? But you don't do that. You want to maximize your advantage, you wait until he's engaged with a monster, then you go and kill him, well, start attacking him anyway, and you might even, if you're trying to abuse the system, wait for the monster to try to get the last hit on the player, to not get the karma hit yourself and all that good stuff. Do you see the issue? You are forcing PvP on somebody else who is doing another activity, in this case he's grinding the monsters. So you're doing PvP into a PvE. So yeah, essentially you are nothing but a griefer. You are not a PvPer, you are a griefer. Simple as that. That's how it works. That's how things work here. So, what's the issue then? Well, the issue is that, well, firstly, if we consider arguments such as that, so, like arguments like this. If I force you out of the best grinding spot, I bully you out of there, I weaken your guild, because, well, you are not at the best possible grinding spot, and my guild gets better. Yours essentially stagnates or stays the same because you're out of the best grinding spot. This is essentially a form of griefing, essentially, But what it also does is that I am not looking for PvP. I am not looking for a fair fight at all. What I am getting by doing this is I am staying ahead, and thus I am not fighting people who are equally geared and equally leveled and so forth, because I am staying ahead. That is a big issue, right? Unfortunately, majority of PvP games, especially open world, the kind which call themselves sandboxes in air quotations, because frankly majority of them are not true sandboxes. Black Desert Online is not a true sandbox game either. Become ghost towns because of this particular issue. There is no meaningful PvP in such a context that, well, often enough, well, let's put it this way, often enough, the PvP ends up in such a way that it's non-consensual PvP. You force the PvP on somebody else, whether that is to bully them out of your favorite grind spot or what have you, and that leads to essentially one guild, clan, whatever, being more on the dominant side of things. And then you start running into these issues where you're slowly, firstly, if one or multiple clans, guilds, actually control all the best spots, you're starting to bleed players out. Firstly, all the folks who no longer can compete with you, they just, what do they have to do? Not much. So they can't level, they can't do any of that. In this game, as long as you stay below a certain level threshold, you can actually keep doing PvE activities in complete and utter safety, which is fantastic take on it. Unfortunately, in some weird ass decision, they decided that ours was level 45 when all the other regions PvP unlocks at level 50, and you have the quest which is required to hit level 50. So essentially, as long as you do not finish that quest, you cannot participate in PvP. It cannot be forced on you. That means you can do a lot of PvE content without ever being forced to PvP for it. You opt out entirely from the endgame PvE grinding and all that stuff to do all the other things. Crafting, fishing, and all these things can be done without being level 55 or whatever. So, for some weird-ass reason, we have this at level 45, as in the opt-in for PvP. Frankly, I think this needs to be fixed if you want this game to survive in any longer fashion, because already, by the point, I get killed often enough by people I have no chance at all to fight against. I have been ganked multiple times just AFK fishing. And so I do not AFK fish anymore with a character who is past level 45. I don't. I can do it safely with something else which is below level 45, and that's essentially what you are forcing me to do. But you're a Care Bear! Unfortunately, yes. In this instance, I am a Care Bear, because I cannot force you to fish for me. I can't do that. But you can decide to grief me by stopping me from doing my preferred activity. It benefits you in no way to do so. But you can still do it. Frankly, it's just purely griefing, and it is not part of a PvP game. I'm sorry, if you're actually looking for meaningful PvP, you probably don't want to hang around in Black Desert Online. It doesn't have all of that much meaningful PvP. What big PvP there is, well, yeah, we have some things coming which might fix the issue, but then again, the gear and, well, gear and level differences make such massive difference in this game that, oh man. Yeah. So those who PvE a lot are gonna win at the PvP, race at the PvP game. Unfortunately, that's how it works in Black Desert Online. Frankly, I really believe that we need to have the PvP level cap gone up to level 50, or the required level to PvP go up to level 50, and the quest reinstated to hit to level 50. Simple as that, done. Alright? That would fix a lot of issues with the game. PvE players would still be satisfied, they could do their own things, enjoy the game, and those who actually want to partake in the whole griefing mess that is the current PvP until we get some really possibly meaningful PvP choices, yeah, they can do their own stuff as well. Because let's call it a little bit here, before I absolutely finish this video, because this has taken way too long already. If we are talking about the risk versus reward thing, which is another big argument all the PvP players go, like, you know, do. It's like, no, there is risk versus reward when you go out there and do your thing and you accept the risk. What risk? Right? The only risk is that somebody is an idiot and decides to gank you, essentially. Tell me, where is the risk to the PvP player who takes advantage of somebody who is possibly a lower level, possibly worse geared, and decides to just kill them? Where is the risk to the PvP player? I'm losing karma. What the heck would you care? I mean, the moment you go negative karma, you become red, that's when you get all the goddamn PvP you want. People who would otherwise leave you alone will actually finally attack you. If you are serious about PvP, you're gonna be running around on negative karma all the goddamn time anyway. So, where is exactly the risk to the actual PvP player? Nowhere. It just doesn't exist. You're taking advantage of somebody who wants to do something else. Not necessarily even in your grind spot or whatever. You just wanna kill somebody who is weaker than you, most likely. Most likely, not necessarily, but most likely. So yeah, essentially there is purely risk for them. And the rewards, yeah, there is a reward for them to manage to get their stuff done, but there is that risk involved, whereas the PvPer who really wants to PvP and not grief actually has no risk whatsoever. Because they get exactly what they want by killing other players, becoming red, negative karma, and that means they get all the PvP. Anyway, thank you very much for watching and listening. This dragged on way too long. Sorry about that. I got sidetracked a little. Anyway, as said, thank you very much for listening and watching.